From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
He called himself America's toughest sheriff, but he won't hold the title of Maricopa County Sheriff much longer. We sit down with Sheriff Joe Arpaio to discuss his career and what comes next.
Plus, a story of success, one immigrant family's journey to the U.S. and the business that led to a better life.
And hockey in the desert is here to stay, but the Coyotes exiting Glendale may leave some local businesses in trouble. How the city is reacting to the move.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Carla Liriano.
And I'm Cassie Ronda. Thank you for joining us.
Happening right now, Tempe high school students are at Tempe City Hall to protest Donald Trump's policies.
Organizers on Facebook call themselves Youth for Love and say the walk is to show their local and national government what they stand for.
Stronger together! Stronger together!
Students walked from Tempe High School this afternoon. A group of students organized the walk and it was approved by Tempe High School administration. Organizers say the protest is planned to be peaceful with no violence being tolerated. Our reporters continue to walk with protesters. Stay with us on Twitter at Cronkite News for continuing coverage.
After 24 years as Maricopa County Sheriff, the people voted, and come next year, Joe Arpaio will no longer hold the position as a self-proclaimed America's toughest sheriff.
Reporter Joey Carrera sat down with Sheriff Arpaio to talk about his time as sheriff and what the future holds.
It was a somber mood in Joe Arpaio's office, but he says he's a sheriff for the people, and the people have spoken.
I was sad in a way because I have so many phone calls from around the nation, even people crying, and that tugs at my heart.
Before he was Maricopa County Sheriff, Joe Arpaio's law enforcement career spanned not only decades, but continents. Now that he's no longer sheriff, he's been listed as a contender for a Homeland Security position.
I'm not going to go around, play around and say, yeah, I want to be Homeland Security. And I don't know. Nobody's called me yet, and there's a rumor going around, I think in Washington or whatever. So we'll see what happens.
Sheriff Arpaio didn't comment on pending legal matters, but Latino rights organizations haven't been shy to label some of his policies racist, a claim Sheriff Joe says just isn't true.
I would love to get together and talk to them, not through all these demonstrations, but for some reason I will probably never convince them who I really am.
84-year-old Arpaio isn't sure what the future has in store for him, but he has a message for his successor.
I wish the person that's going to be the next sheriff good luck and success.
Arpaio attributes his success to being surrounded by good people. Live in downtown, Joey Carrera, Cronkite News.
Arizona PBS continues to look into the outcome of the Maricopa County Sheriff race. Maricopa Sheriff-elect Paul Penzone joins Arizona Horizon tonight at 5:30 and 10. The House Republicans voted today to lift a congressional ban on earmarks. Arizona Senator Jeff Flake spoke out on the Senate floor to oppose lifting the ban. Flake helped to originally put the ban in place. He says that the desire for earmarks keeps coming up, but that the ban is still necessary. Flake also says that with the national debt nearing $20 trillion, the taxpayers expect Congress to cut down on wasteful spending, not add to it.
That's the worst part of it, is that we spend time doling out this, what amounts to a small portion of the federal budget, but that takes so much time and effort from members and their staff to just secure that small bit of money that we aren't spending the time that we should providing oversight on the rest of the budget. That's the biggest crime of earmarks.
Also in the Senate today, the two major parties elected their leaders for the next legislative session. Republicans re-elected Mitch McConnell as Senate Majority Leader, while Democrats chose New York's Charles Schumer as the Minority Leader, replacing Harry Reid, who opted to retire. Both party leaders say they are ready to get to work across party lines.
Some think we need to make a choice and spend all of our energy focused on one group of Americans or another. I believe that there does not have to be a division. In fact, there must not be a division.
Time to accept the results of the election, to lower the tone, and to see what we can do together to make progress for the country.
The national GOP chair is open after Reince Priebus accepted President-elect Trump's offer to be chief of staff. Republican politicians have now started speculating on who could take that position. One of the names being talked about, which was reported earlier by Cronkite News reporter Claire Caulfield, is Arizona's GOP chairman, Robert Graham.
Because I think that the nation has all the potential that we have here in Arizona. Look, we had 31% Hispanic population in Arizona, and we still won with 5.1% of the vote. That tells you something when you see the type of engagement that we've had with all the demographic and ethnicities in our state. And so that type of model is what's essential going forward for the Republican Party nationally. So I'd love to lead the charge tonight if I have the opportunity.
You know, Robert is amazing, and I think he's done an amazing job for us in Arizona. I can just say on a personal level, when I was running for Secretary of State, the work that he did at the state party was incredible. Bar none. So I think he would do an incredible job on the national level if he was to take the model that he put in place in Arizona and expand that to a national level. He would be absolutely incredible.
According to the results posted on the Secretary of State's website, the margin in the presidential election was actually 3.86%. Graham also told Cronkite News that either way, if Trump chooses to support him or not, he will respect his decision.
Twitter is suspending several accounts of prominent members of the alt-right movement. The social media giant declined comment on the ban, but says the site's policies forbid violent threats, hate speech, or harassment. Richard Spencer, the head of the National Policy Institute, is credited with popularizing the term alt-right and says the suspensions are a coordinated attack against users with certain viewpoints. The National Policy Institute and Spencer's account were both suspended.
Representative Raul Grijalva is among a group of 21 members of Congress asking President Obama to de-escalate growing tensions at the Dakota Access Pipeline. The letter recommends that President Obama deny the easement for the Dakota Access Pipeline to cross Lake Oahe, deploy observers to ensure water protectors and journalists are safe, and urge the state of North Dakota to stand down from its escalation of the use of force. The group of congressmen says tensions are causing an increase in use of force, and that call for help under the Emergency Management Assistance Compact is uncalled for. Protests around the nation continue, including a protest in Tucson last night.
They're not Republicans and they're not Democrats. The independent voter isn't being counted or informed. Cronkite News reporter David Caltabiano tells us how independents are still fighting for political equality.
Democrats, Republicans, independents, and the Clean Election Commission gathered today to discuss whether those who don't affiliate with either party are treated equally and included in the political process. Party leaders from both ends of the political spectrum attended a panel to discuss independent voters.
So I think most people missed my joke about more campaign signs would fix everything on voter education.
But after the laughs, a serious debate on independent voter engagement began.
Many Americans in this last election felt like they were choosing between the lesser of two evils.
Paul Johnson, former Phoenix mayor and the current chairman of the independent movement of Arizona, also said the existing system is alienating independents, a view that top GOP officials disagree with.
Any consideration that independents as a whole are put in a box and don't have access to information or can't participate at the same level should be offensive to the independents.
But to Arizona's Secretary of State Michelle Reagan, the issue comes down to how voting districts are drawn.
If we really want to make our election system better and more fair in Arizona, the untold story is competitive districts, and nobody talks about it.
Secretary Reagan said the overly red or blue districts in Arizona discourages voters as a whole to come out and vote. But Johnson used a familiar word to describe the uphill battle for independent voters and those who want to be in office.
The whole goal is to make certain that the game is rigged against them.
A word that Johnson backs up with his own personal reason.
One is if you run for governor, and governor is just one example, every seat is the same. If you run as a Democrat, it's 7,000 votes, 7,000 signatures you need to get on the ballot. You need 7,000 if you're a Republican. You need almost 40,000 if you're an independent. It makes it almost impossible for independents to actually even get on the ballot.
Secretary of State Michelle Reagan also discussed the change in the presidential preference election to include independent voters, but says that's up to the state legislature. In the broadcast center, David Caltabiano, Cronkite News.
The definition of success is different for everyone.
One immigrant considers his work in the fields not just a success, but a lifestyle. Coming up on Cronkite News.
From Mexico to the United States, the journey of Santiago Gonzalez and his rise to success through farming and family.
Tickets are now available for the annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon, held Monday, November 21st at the Sheraton Grand Phoenix. Join media industry and community leaders in honoring this year's recipient, award-winning journalist and CBS Evening News anchor Scott Pelley. The annual Walter Cronkite Award for Excellence in Journalism Luncheon. cronkite.asu.edu/luncheon.
4 words parents never want to hear: your child has cancer. The Arizona Department of Health is providing resources to help families coping with that diagnosis. Reporter Allison Hoskins spoke with a mom that said the upcoming childhood cancer report can change lives.
When you first hear those words, your child has cancer, your first thought is, oh my gosh, will my child survive? And then you worry about all the other things.
Patty Luttrell is the co-founder and executive director of the Children's Cancer Network in Arizona. She knows all too well what it feels like to hear that your child has cancer. Her son Jeff was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 5 and battled it through multiple relapses.
Initially it was the leukemia, ALL leukemia, which is the most common form of cancer, and for some reason it was very difficult to treat. But 2/3 of all kids who go through cancer treatment have secondary effects, and one of those things that can occur is secondary cancers. So after 9 years of being cancer-free, Jeff then started with secondary cancers, and he's been dealing with that for the last, since 2009.
Families seeking financial, physical, and emotional support will soon have a report that wraps up all the resources they so badly need.
We really wanted this to be a community-focused report. We didn't want it to just be data and charts and graphs, and so we wanted to provide some community resources to families and to survivors.
Resources some families need at their most desperate time.
When my son was in bone marrow transplant in Tucson, the little girl next door to him passed away. And the family didn't have money to put gas in their car to get home after everything was kind of settled. So we gathered money that night and gave it to the family.
Families will now have one place to find the help they need. Wozniak says the ADHS is aiming to release the report in January. In Phoenix, Allison Hoskins, Cronkite News.
Many immigrate to the United States in search of something more, and one West Valley family of farmers hasn't wasted the opportunity. Reporter Adriana de Alba traced their roots deep into Mexico to find out how heritage plays an important role in the family business.
Some call it farming. But for a man who's earned a living by spending his days out in the open fields, this is a gift.
I enjoy being out, just away from everything.
Santiago Gonzalez was just 11 when his father brought the family of 16 to the United States from Mexico in search of a new opportunity.
This is a beautiful country, and the opportunities are there if you seek them, and if you have the desire to go get them.
After decades of success farming in the West Valley, it would be Santiago's turn to lead the family in a new venture. In 2007, he founded Tres Amigos Tequila, a product he named after his 3 sons.
We decided to make our own tequila mainly because the quality of the product was not there any longer, and we are true believers of quality.
But to the 59-year-old, finding quality agave meant having family involved every step of the way. And that led him back to Jalisco and the agave that the Gonzalez family has been growing on this farm for more than 4 generations.
We work hard on it, and it's family. And when you love family and you love everybody that's around you, what are you going to have? You're going to have nothing but the best at all times.
I'm standing on the Tres Amigos farm where more than 500 acres of agave are grown. This one in particular has about 2 to 3 more years until it matures.
Here the workday starts bright and early as the sun begins to shine through the agave fields.
All day long, just imagine all day long with this thing in your hand. Chopping and chopping and walking down the field, back the field, up the field, back. We don't stop. We don't know what stop means. It's a beautiful life if you like the outdoors. People that would sit in an office, sometimes they would do not understand, and they don't know what nature is.
It takes 7 years for the plant to reach full maturity. Then it's off to the distillery, where it's placed in high-pressure cookers for 12 hours. It's fermented and distilled. Next comes the aging process. The tequila is stored in large oak barrels for up to 5 years.
We do have it, some that have been there close to 7 years, so we're gonna find out how that one tastes. But it should be awesome.
Finally, the tequila is boxed up and shipped to El Mirage, Arizona, where Santiago Gonzalez proudly distributes Tres Amigos across 21 states.
When you have your brothers and sisters or your family united like that, you know, the mental state that you're in and the strength that you have because of all this family is invincible.
One family, 2 countries, and a legacy of success. In Jalisco, Mexico, Adriana de Alba, Cronkite News.
The effort behind Tres Amigos hasn't distracted the Gonzalez family from its other businesses. Today, they farm more than 5,000 acres in El Mirage.
It's a new beginning for the Arizona Coyotes come 2018. The team announced they're making the move to the East Valley. Coming up on Cronkite News, the latest chapter in the continuing drama of the Coyotes in Glendale.
It's a cloudy and cooler day in Phoenix, but could temperatures drop even more this week? I'll have your full forecast coming up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm always searching to feel like I fit into something.
We are the people that we are because of our past.
I'm just one of many who stopped being silent.
It's just proof of how far we have come.
Make sure in all the hustle and bustle, we don't lose sight of why we're here.
It all boils down to communicating the lives we live.
If you look closely, they've got a story to tell.
He connects with you in a very deep way.
Wish you love, peace, and soul.
Come with us on this great adventure.
I've been getting used to waking up.
Come and play with us.
Onward and onward.
Good ideas open up a whole new world of possibilities.
The more you know about history, the more you know about yourself.
The sky is the limit.
Where I go, there you are.
It is the latest chapter in the continuing drama that has played out in Glendale since 2009, including team bankruptcy, ownership change, and battles over the team's lease with the city.
On Monday, the Coyotes announced plans to build an arena in Tempe. If those plans come to fruition, the Coyotes will leave behind their current home in Glendale, Gila River Arena.
Caught in the middle of the drama, the Westgate Entertainment District. Madeline Hyman looks at the district's future.
With this week's news of the Coyotes' plans to move to Tempe, Glendale's Gila River Arena and its surrounding area, including the Westgate Entertainment District, could be left without a big draw 41 nights a year. Oprah Life managing partner Alan Cryer, who opened his restaurant at Westgate less than 2 years ago, is concerned.
Well, obviously it's a big blow. Not just us, but every retail and restaurant tenant in here, as Westgate keeps developing more and more restaurants to accommodate events like the Coyotes, Cardinals, concerts, etc. it's going to slow down business dramatically.
Glendale Vice Mayor Ian Hugh is not as worried. He believes other events will replace the draw of the hockey team that has played in the arena since its opening in December of 2003.
If the Coyotes leave, that would just open up the door to try to attract other activities in. And maybe it might be some arena football, some other sports that are very family-friendly and affordable to go see.
A written statement from the city said, quote, "The city of Glendale has consistently stated its desire that the Arizona Coyotes remain the prime tenant in Gila River Arena. Although the Coyotes have stated their desire to explore other options, the city of Glendale is committed to helping the team be successful while they play in the Gila River Arena."
They've made these announcements before. I read the press clippings on it, and to me it said a whole lot of nothing. So none of it was a surprise. We know they need a new arena. We know Glendale has soured that relationship with the Coyotes as we're partners with the Coyotes. So it's really no new news.
In Glendale, Madeline Hyman, Cronkite News.
And Arizona hockey fans are happy that they can see hockey stay in the desert.
But the team is far from home tonight, up in Calgary, Canada, where temperatures are just a bit lower.
Well, it's more than a slight change for the Yotes, going into freezing temperatures as they prep to take on the Calgary Flames tonight. And the Coyotes will be freezing on and off the ice. It's currently a chilly 30 degrees, and that'll continue to drop as the night goes on. When the puck drops at 8 p.m., it will be around 28 degrees, and then the temperature will drop into the 20s as we go further into the night. Well, the Coyotes could be bringing some of that cool weather with them as we go into the next few days. We're going to see a regional cool down. Tomorrow, it's going to be in the 40s in Reno and Denver, and then in the 60s in San Francisco and Los Angeles, and in southern and central Arizona, we're going to see in the low 70s. Let's take a closer look at your temperatures around Arizona today. In the Grand Canyon, it was 58 degrees. Lake Havasu, low 80s, and then 83 and 80 in Yuma and Tucson. Well, if you're in Phoenix today, you could have seen some cloudy skies, but those cloudy skies will not last that long. We're going to get back to our normal clear fall days starting tomorrow as around 10 a.m. You see all those clouds have disappeared. Let's take a closer look at your forecast tomorrow. 55 at 7 a.m. That sun is going to rise around 7:02 a.m. and it's going to be nice and cool and sunny and clear as we go into the rest of the day. Those temperatures are going to creep up back into the 80s, though, for the weekend. But pay attention to Monday. It's going to be a 50% chance of thunderstorms. 64 degrees is your high right now for Monday, so get those winter coats out. You're going to need them. For Cronkite Weather, I'm Lauren Hornberger.
Temperatures looking to cool down just in time for the Thanksgiving holiday.
Coming up on Cronkite News, how you can prepare for that Thanksgiving feast.
Plus, a look into some of the early Black Friday shopping deals.
The confidence to lead our country.
This isn't reality television.
I feel like Hamilton reached out from history and wouldn't let me go until I told his story.
I make no apology for my actions. I would do the same again.
How we come so far and yet have so far to go.
Right there, coming up.
In 1920s Melbourne,
careful with the hand luggage. My pistol's in there somewhere and it may still be loaded.
Phryne Fisher is a detective.
Things could get interesting around here.
Thought they already were.
Who isn't afraid to live a little.
I hope you're not concealing a dangerous weapon under that skirt.
I'm concealing a lot of things.
Why do you think you could just run off on your own?
Because I'm carrying a gun.
The irresistible series, Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries.
Saturday night at 10 on Arizona PBS.
Hi, I'm Charlie Rose. As part of the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at ASU, Arizona PBS is providing a state-of-the-art venue for the next generation of journalists. From newsrooms in Washington, Los Angeles, and here in Phoenix, students engage in real-time, real-world news reporting, broadcast production, and online innovation. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS working together in new ways to bridge the classroom to the community in the digital age.
Football, family, and turkey. Arizonans are getting ready for Thanksgiving next week.
But the National Fire Protection Association wants to warn those planning to fry the bird. The NFPA says cooking is the leading cause of home fires, and warns that unsafe use of turkey fryers could cause devastating burns.
The group urges even those with experience not to use turkey fryers that use cooking oil because of high fire danger.
The Phoenix Fire Department will be demonstrating how not to fry a turkey tomorrow and just how quickly a kitchen can catch fire. Cronkite News will be on hand to bring you a special report to help prep for your Thanksgiving feast safely.
If planning the meal is stressing you out, start thinking shopping the day after.
Wallet Hub says holiday spending will increase by more than $20 billion on Black Friday this year. The study says consumers will find an average 39% discount on Black Friday.
The highest discount, well, Wallet Hub says it's Macy's, with an average 63% discount, followed by Stage and JCPenney.
And whether it's the shopping, the food, or the family, Cronkite News wants to know what you're thankful for. You can go online to cronkitenews.azpbs.org to submit photos and share why you're thankful this holiday season.
Cronkite News is thankful to be the news division of Arizona PBS.
Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, Maricopa County Sheriff-elect Paul Penzone will join us in studio, and we'll look at how a Donald Trump presidency might affect immigration policy. That's the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Hari Srinivasan. On the next NewsHour, the head of the company building the pipeline in North Dakota that spurred protests. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.